Welcome, everyone. We are here.
Hello. This is Misfit Table. I am Rob. I am GM for this group here running Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Ashton, do we have any? Did you have something you need to say about some sort of announcement?
Just one thing, which is we have all of our D&D videos live on YouTube now. Every single one. We're caught up.
All right.
Next up is Blades in the Dark and Street Fighter. Those will be coming soon. Hopefully by this time next week.
All right, so anybody, if you haven't seen the stuff in the beginning, now's your time to go back and watch some of the, you'll get the references now. Some of the crazy things that are happening now are being informed by what we did back then. Especially the first episode, so seeing how these characters, like, we played their backstory out, like, right in the first couple episodes, which I thought was really cool. We really got to know these characters before they were thrown into the carnival, and before they went through the carnival to this mad Feywild realm of Prismere and the swamps of Hither, which is where we are right now. I'll do a quick introduction to sort of everybody. Most everyone kind of knows like who we are at this point, the people that are watching. But we've got a group of 4 players here. Chad is playing Samurai Lud. I said it wrong. He is half-elf rogue, right? Yep, rogue, something or other. I want to give away all the details. I like a little mystery for characters. Then we've got Brandon playing Sylphira Eventide, a Twilight cleric in Azamar. We've got Ashton, who is playing Thorn, a very big guy who is still sort of learning where he's going. Started off as a blacksmith, and is Gnomish. How would you describe Tana? I want to say barbarian. I mean, that's what she is. Would Tana describe herself?
No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, in the game, game mechanics-wise, she's a barbarian, but, she considers herself very civilized, kind of like a cottagecore rage monster. Yeah, that's how I see her.
All of our characters kind of break the mold a bit as to what they, class is just one way to sort of talk about a character and what they can do, but I think, especially with some of these characters, it doesn't really do a good job of explaining who they are. I don't think for any of them, really. I mean, Sylphira was she's a priestess. But I think Sylphira's even tapping into some things outside of her norm. She's being kind of pressured in a way she wasn't back home. Yep.
There's no moon here, right? So,
Well, yeah, there's that, and we're now in a place that's completely wild as opposed to the small, happy place of Glen Hollow where there's only a few dead people.
Yeah,
there aren't things trying to kill us.
Yes, at least not when you left. I don't know if I would necessarily describe.
Wait. What do you mean when we left? What's happening while we're gone? What's going to happen when we get back?
I'm talking
spoilers.
I'm talking more about before. I don't know if Glen Hollow was a very happy place for most of your characters for the last 8 years.
That's true. When we were children, it was a happy place.
Yeah, true for some of you, but then all of you are, with the exception, all of you have had trauma in the past.
That's true.
You're adopted. Your parents are either missing or gone, or they weren't there when we began this whole thing. As children, you were adopted by this couple, and it's kind of because of that adoption that you ended up in Glen Hollow, and then were exposed to this carnival and history that goes beyond even your characters. It goes into the history of your adopted parents and your real parents too, for some of you. Any thoughts on that? Now that we're here in the Feywild, it's been a little while since we've sort of talked about that. The group has done some adventuring here. They've met a hag, they've made deals, they just fought a basilisk out in the swamps. Where are we right now? Let's start with whoever wants to go first. Dead? Okay, there we go. Brandon, you're up.
I was just asking if that thing is dead. God, I've never seen something like that.
Its legs up in the swamp right now. Its tongue hanging out. This bullywug hunter, who is still painted to look like a statue, is standing over it, sort of like a sand person, like giving a victory dance. His grasp of the common tongue is not great. Could any of you thought that this is where you would be a few weeks ago?
I mean, not this exactly, but Tana has been planning on going into the Feywild for 8 years, so she's just kind of ready for anything. She's like a lot of pent-up energy, and now she can like expel that energy. So, yeah, she's excited.
You have a victory here. You have this dead monster at your feet. It sounds like Sophia is still processing this.
Yes, I'm also very much exhausted. Not condition exhausted, but fairly tapped out for the day.
Oh, yeah, that's understandable. But, you know, at least we're not statues.
No, that's true. Is anyone hurt? Are all of you doing okay?
I'm fine.
Well, I look at my body. I'm definitely bleeding. I feel odd. I don't like it, but yeah, I'm good.
Well, hopefully this will help a little bit, and I'll put my hand on your shoulder, and I will cast Healing Hands, which allows you to recover 3 hit points.
You're such a comfort, Sophia.
I think it's around then. I think it's around then that Thorn smacks the rock one more time, really hard, and then it's like, bam, on the rock. Then it's like, is it dead? Did we get it?
You nailed it, Thorn. You beast, you. Yeah, got it right in the tuchus there.
The bullywug's next to you, and he seems to understand at least enough of it, you know, with your question, and you just hear from him, and back, you feel like, you know, this wet sort of mitt sort of hit your shoulder. You don't know if it's an attack or not. You don't take any damage.
Well,
he just seems to be congratulating you because you got in one of the last hits. I think Thorn hit it.
I think so. Yeah, I did eventually get off the rock and hit it.
Yes.
I finally cracked my eye open. Yeah! And then whatever he said, Udaga!
Yeah, he's sitting right in front of you, this painted bullywug who's like right in your face with these big eyes. And he's just like, and he's just looking down at this thing and he gives it a swift kick. You can see it's just all muddy at this point, like half its legs are like sticking up in the air. It's got 8 legs, so like there's a lot of dead legs up in the air at this point. And he kind of crouches down and grabs this thing by one of the legs and starts dragging it up onto the mucky shore.
We
What
did it!
language do you have in common with him again?
What was it?
We had a language in common with him, but I think it was only Sam who spoke it.
It was Sylvan, I think. He spoke, and this guy didn't speak like a lot. He spoke like broken Sylvan. Mostly he's speaking bullywug because he's excited. He's survived this and he has his prize. If this is what he was sent out to collect by Bavlorna, then it's probably a good thing that your group came along. But who knows if he would have succeeded without a little bit of help.
Hey, Ugfog.
Godfog. He kind of pats himself.
Yeah. Sam.
Tom.
Yeah. So, Ugfog, you hunt this thing for, Lana?
Kind of looks at you like trying to figure it out, like what you're saying.
Yeah, Florida.
He seems odd. He looks over at Tana, and he's like, oh, yeah, Babylona, big Babylona. He grabs his froggy mouth, makes it even wider. And he looks a little bit like her when his eyes bug out, because he's frog looking and so is she.
Right.
He does a very good impression. And he's like, oh, Babylona, Udaya. He points down at this thing in the mud. He pats himself, and he gives Thorn a pat. Kind of goes to kind of pat Hannah, but realizes that she's really short and is kind of like hesitant, and then just sort of goes like gives like a fist bump type of thing.
Head pat.
Yeah, well, he's all muddy and whatnot too, so.
Yeah, don't pat me on the head. That doesn't go over well.
He saw you raging out on this thing, probably, or at least heard it.
Yeah.
Plus, you're still standing with bloody short sword, and you're all wounded too. Yeah, I think you took the most damage out of this whole fight. And then he looks over at Sam, who's sitting there with an owl on his shoulder. Ooh,
Now, my new friend. There's 3 different possible names that we're working with. There's Feather Flocklear. There's Wendy Clawford. And there's Bernadette Tweetus. So it's going to be one of those.
Do we put a poll in the chat? Put a vote?
Sure.
Huck Fun seems a little bit stuck on Tweetus. He has no idea what it means. So, Tweetus.
I vote Bernadette Tweeter.
Tweetus.
That's.
I also vote for Bernadette Tweeter.
It's hard to say Bernadette instead of Bernadette, but
Bernadette?
I just call her Tweeter for sure.
Tweeters. We all know.
I was a fan of, what was it, Windy last week?
Wendy Clawford.
I could stick with that one. I'll throw my vote there.
Well, I think we'll work on it. Right now, we'll find out what sticks. Your friendly glowing one seems to be stuck in Tweeters, which might be what I'll just end up calling it.
It's your prerogative as a DM.
That's what he calls it. We'll see if it sticks. The last he looks over at Sophia, who's quite a bit different than me. There's this huge guy that he looks up to in Thorn, a little person right next to him with Tana, and then he's got somewhat of like a normal looking like humanoid in Sam, and then Sophia is off a little to the side and has like a little bit of like a glow to her or something, doesn't she? As an Azamar, is there something sort of Azamarish about Sophia? I feel like you described her a little bit unusual.
As far as I understand, Azamar just kind of have an otherworldly presence. Like, just being around them kind of feels like, kind of off. She doesn't have pupils for her eyes, so they're just kind of this like light bluish color that's like a little smoky, but not like smoke pouring out of her eyes. It's some kind of radiant thing. But yes, there's definitely like another worldly, extraplanar aura around her. Nothing visible, nothing that like tangible or mechanically speaking game-wise, but a vibe.
So he kind of stops just on Sophia because maybe she's a little bit weirder than the weirdness he's used to.
I will sheepishly and weirdly wave back.
Hi. He just kind of gives a little bit of a shrug. Like, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, now that we've got all that sorted, say, Ugfunk. So you're taking this thing.
Ugfunk.
Yeah.
Ugfunk.
Funk you up. Funk you up. You're taking. We're hunting this for Babylon.
Babylon.
And you're taking this back to them.
Babylon. Kind of makes this motion like he's going to drag.
You're just going to hold that all by yourself?
Alright. And he goes down and you see him pull out a knife and he starts working on it. I mean, everybody, you're from Glen Hall, which is like a kind of a rural place. You've seen hunting, you know that you don't just leave like the whole thing together. You have to dress in the animal once you've hunted. And that's what he starts to do. Slits it right up the center, kind of takes out all the innards, just throws them out into the swamp to get them out of the way. And it doesn't look like he's going to take this whole thing apart. It seems like he wants to skin it. And eventually, he kind of dresses this thing in such a way that he's got it where you can almost wear it like a backpack. Like the limbs have kind of been, the front limbs have kind of been tied together. He kind of hunches down under it, sticks his head between these things, and stands up. And it's kind of like now it looks like he's got this thing on his back because most of the interior is empty. It sort of like conforms around him. And it's a lot less heavy than it was before because all of its limbs are gone. He's still struggling a little bit under it, but the wings are pretty strong. And he seems to be stronger than the average one.
But is he gonna walk it all the way back to Bavlorna? Like we rode here on a snail, the practical way.
He starts marching kind of back through the swamp, at least out of this particular area. Seems like he's heading more towards like dry ground. And it's slow going.
Oh, we should go to the inn, guys.
We absolutely should. I believe Sue said that she knew Ugfunk. Sue said that she knew Ugfunk. Ah, there we go.
He's also Sue.
I go up to him and I'm like, do you know the inn at the end of the road? Wait.
You need a road.
Yes, house with heat.
In fact, as he's kind of dragging this thing out of the swamp, he's nodding to you, and he looks off in the distance, and you can see it sort of like poking, like the roof of it kind of poking through the mist in the distance. He kind of stops for a moment and goes, "Oh, get it in a row."
Yes.
And he nods kind of like again and points to it, and then he points to like your group, and then he points back to the inn.
Yeah. Let's go. We'll help you. How about that?
And he just keeps marching through the marsh.
Yeah,
He doesn't go directly towards it though. He heads kind of like a little bit at an angle to it, and you realize that he's heading to a camp that he's sort of set up maybe 100 yards or so away from this place. And there you see he's got like a little sort of cook fire set up and like a pack and some other things. There's also a little sled here that he throws this thing onto. It kind of wraps up like some of the cords, and he can sort of pull his sled through the swamp a little bit easier than dragging this thing on his back. Still slow going, but he does have some tools for just this occasion.
Could we tie it to the saddle on the snail, you think?
Yeah, you probably could. The snail moves pretty close. Everybody's pretty slow, but yeah, you can. Although the rest of you kind of have to walk, I think. Yeah, right. That's not too much of a problem. Now you have a sled behind your snail. You have a snail sled.
I love this mode of travel.
The hither Iditarod is what's going on right now. It'll take you 3 months to get around hither and back to here. But you have a mount. He tries to talk to you a little bit, like, sort of between putting this thing on the sled and you kind of suggesting hooking it up to let us be. The only one he's really able to sort of have a conversation with is Sam, though, because Sam, I think, is the only one that knows Sylvan, right?
Yep.
So he, what you get from him is that he basically says, "Oh, thank you, coming help. Big one. Not expect so many legs. The big teeth."
Yeah, no, that was quite a bit for you to try and tackle all by yourself. Do you usually hunt things like that all by your own?
Yes. On my own, all the time. It's the way.
Okay. Well, hey, we actually came out here looking for you for a reason. Bavlorna said you might have a package that belongs to her.
Oh, Bavlorna, yes, the monster, the basilisk. And he points to the thing on the sled. Waiting to capture. Bring to Bavlorna.
Okay. You didn't have any other, maybe like some mail or something that you were supposed to deliver to her?
He just seems confused by that.
I think the monster was the package.
All right. Well, all right.
When you suggest that, like, it seems like that's the deal. Like, he was sent to hunt this thing for Bavlorna.
Okay.
So how many tasks is that so far? Is that
Well, this
4
will
out
be
of
number
5?
three.
It's just 3?
3 out of 4, yeah.
3 out of
3 out of 4. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
You all remember what your tasks were?
It was clogging a drain.
Done.
In the book,
Book.
Done. Bavlorna's big book of bad blood.
hidden
Body of
whatever
a
this
bastard.
package is. Yeah.
Package seems to be this animal carcass, a trophy hunted by Ugfunk Stinkbottom.
And get the painting from the tree.
Yes,
From
the
Lady Blight, Nightshade.
Yep, Skabatha Nightshade.
Yes.
That is actually in another realm. So now that you've done these 3 things, also kind of on the way here, since you confronted Agdon and collected Clapperclaw's head, you now have he's ready to take you to thither when you are ready to go. And as soon as you return to Downfall and with Ugfunk's trophy, it might be time to move on, unless there's something else you're hoping to get, which I think that there is.
Wait, so were we planning on going to get the painting, then go back with Ugfunk to whatever that town is? Or were
To
we-
Downfall. Downfall is the town. That's the Bullywug town.
Or were we taking him back and then going to get the tree and then coming back again?
I suppose he could go without us. And tell her we helped.
Yeah, maybe we can give him like a message or something that he can say, I met 4 awesome people in a swamp. They helped me kill this thing. They said that's number 3. They'll see you soon. Love, Ugfunk.
Is there a reason why we don't want to go back to Downfall?
Well, I mean, we are running a bit short on time. I think we had 8 days, and I think we're on day 4? 3 or 4? Maybe 2? 3?
Can't remember how many days. Let me see my
Sulfira,
rest.
Sulfira, with her keen mind, would know exactly how many days we've been out here.
It's
DM?
it's coming on 2 days.
2 days.
I'm going to bring you back to the map of Hither, where you can see where you are and where you need to go.
All right.
You could, at this point, break off and head to Thither with Clapperclaw. By foot or by snail, it's going to take you a little bit of time to get there. But you did see that the Bullywugs had means to move quicker. They had balloons, or at least they had one.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a balloon ride, but what are we going to trade for that?
I've got some dried firewood.
We know.
That's Thor on the shoulder.
You can only go to that inspiration well. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm gonna find out.
it's dried up.
Oh,
So here's the thing: you have no idea if Bavlorna is going to honor her deal if you're not the ones that deliver this, I mean, letter or not. She seems to be a little bit cagey. She's also holding something of yours hostage. 2 things of yours. She said that if you do these things for her, that she could return some lost things, or she suggested that she might.
Sounds like maybe we should go back with Ugfunk post haste and then do what we can to get to that tree with all speed.
Alrighty.
yeah.
I should tell you right now that moving with Lettuce B is going to be slow, and you can see off to, there's no sort of north, south, east, west, but we're going to use those directions here. Looking off to the east across the swamp, there are hills that are sort of on the boundary between hither and thither. That's what Clapperclaw tells you. He says he knows the way to sort of like through a few passes to get through those hills. He says that once you're up there, the clouds kind of make things difficult, but he knows the way to go. But he does tell you that moving on the snail is going to be kind of kind of slow.
Well, why don't we ask Sue? She seemed to be moving pretty quickly.
You can.
All right. Let's go back to the inn at the end of the road.
All right, your group moves through the swamp. Pretty soon you show back up at the gangplank to the inn at the end of the road. As you step inside, you see that there are a couple of Harangon that are sitting down kind of near the fire. And Sue is behind the bar. Things seem to be calm at this point. No trouble has found the inn, with the exception of a couple of these Harangon. And you recognize one of them from the Brigand's Tollway, from Agnon's camp. And give me an insight check.
16.
I'll do that.
Yeah, everybody can do that comes in.
All right. Ooh, nice. That is a dirty 20.
Nice. What else do we have? I got a 16 for Sulfera. 16. Sam?
9.
9 and Thor.
Thorn is not paying attention.
All right, so Sulfera and Tana, when you step in and you look over towards them, like one of them kind of pulls the hood up a little bit and kind of looks away. The other one just watches you from, near the fire. They both look a little bit crestfallen and defeated. The last time you saw some of these in the camp with Agnon, they didn't share the same sort of enthusiasm for banditry that they did sort of when they were led by Agnon before, sort of like before this, big defeat that you sort of handed them. Agnon doesn't see that way, but it seems as if maybe some of his brigands don't share his, belief in victory over you guys. Sue looks up when you guys come in, and she's like, "Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, I see that you are successful. Hello, Ugfunk." And she starts speaking in Bullywug to him. And Ugfunk's like, "Oh, yeah." And he starts dragging this thing off the, over the gangplank. And at first she seems a little hesitant because there's like mud on it. And it's this big sort of sled. But she basically gestures him over to the side of the inn where there's a little bit of space for him to gather this stuff.
Excellent. I'm going to keep an eye on the Harangon and just make sure they don't pull any funny business now that we're inside the inn. Like, how are they looking at us?
One of them seems to be avoiding looking at you. The other one just seems kind of looking at you like, without much emotion at all. Just sort of like, you're not getting much from them. They're kind of warily watching you. Maybe they are concerned that you're here. Maybe they didn't expect you to be.
But even if we didn't do so well on our perception checks, like, we see the Harangon.
Oh, yeah, you do. This insight check was just to sort of notice this mood that's coming from them.
Completely oblivious. Oh, hey, guys. What are you doing here?
The one with the hood drawn up just kind of pulls it a little bit lower, and the other one says, just getting a drink, that's all. Nothing to see here. We're not causing any trouble.
No, I wouldn't think so. Let us put our stuff down and come join you.
Join us? Why would you join us?
If you want company, that is. We intend you no ill, and would hope that you intend us no ill.
No, we don't. No ill will at all. If you want to join us, can't stop you. The other one just seems to kind of just be like not wanting to like meet your gaze.
I mean, you could stop us. You could say no. If you don't want us to.
The other one just sort of shakes their head. And they gesture to the table. There's only 2 other seats at this one, but other seats can be pulled up if you wish.
Do we have like things to set down and pack up and like?
Not much for you, no. Ugfunk seems to be handling that part of it all on his own.
I sit down at the table and I just kind of look at them and say, Do you need a refill?
One looks down at the cup, and there's a little bit left, and it downs it real quick, and then kind of slides the cup across the table, kind of hopeful that you're gonna kind of do what you're implying.
Yeah.
All right.
So, could we have a round, please?
Yes. Well, 1 second. And she just is helping Ugfunk sort of get this stuff situated, and then she slips back behind the bar and looks over. How many?
One for everyone?
7.
7, yeah.
All right. Be right up. She starts filling some cups and sliding them down the table.
I'll come sit with them next to and just be like, you guys, we just did the best thing. You gotta meet this hunter. His name's Ugfunk, and he killed a basilisk, and we helped.
I mean, we helped a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
They kind of
you
lean
guys-
over to look past Thorn at Ugfunk, and they can see this monster like on the sled in the place. And then they kind of look at each other with like sort of big eyes. And one of them says, is that a basilisk?
Yep.
They killed a basilisk?
Yep.
How?
We did.
With
our
we
eyes
have powers
closed.
combined. I think they stabbed it a lot.
Even one with the hood now is sort of paying attention and looking back to see like what this is. And they both just seem sort of like agog, like at this, because they know what this creature is. Living in the swamps, maybe they've heard of it. And one of them even says to the other, "That's the legendary beast. That's the stone breather." And it was like kind of just like looking at it, like still like pulling the hood up, but like looking over.
There were some statues there that were broken. But they looked realistic. I think they weren't always statues.
No, they weren't. If you saw statues around that, they were made by the basilisk. It bites folk and it looks at them, and if it gets too close, you can turn to stone, and then it chews you to pieces.
Oh, yeah. And there was one statue that was still breathing.
Like rock candy.
I don't know what that is.
That's what basilisks eat. People, like rock candy.
Oh my goodness. Why would, out of curiosity, other than, trying to clear out the swamp, why would somebody want to kill a basilisk?
Well, the menaces. Isn't
What?
that enough? They're menaces. They're dangerous.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. But why would somebody want the body of one?
Yeah, can you like harness bits of it for, I don't know, spells and stuff?
Let's see if they know anything about that. I don't really know. I mean, maybe the magicals, something magical about their eyes. Is it safe now to look at?
I mean, I wouldn't open them up. Let's keep them closed.
Uh-oh. Thorn promptly shuts his eyes.
No, not our
Not-
eyes, sweetheart.
Yeah.
What?
No, the basilisk's eyes we should keep
Hannah,
closed.
Hannah.
You can
no,
open
I don't
yours.
want to turn to stone.
Yep.
Well, you're not gonna, honey.
Are
Here,
you
just
sure?
just hold on to this mug. Don't take your hands
All
off
right.
it. Eyes
I'll-
closed. Eyes
I'll
closed.
just drink this mug.
Yeah, there you go.
See, Sam's got my back.
Always.
I give Sam a withering look.
So as you're talking about this, and like Ugfunk's still just over in the corner, kind of working on this thing. He's tidying it up. It seems like he's spending a little more time on the beast. And you see that he's working on something like around its throat, being very, very delicate and careful. It seems like he's dissecting something from the basilisk. He's kind of glanced over a little bit at the Herringon just as you're talking to them, but he's not really following your conversation.
I would like to approach Sue kind of on the sly and ask for an ale or whatever booze they have and food. A serving of food. One food, please.
One food.
Whatever that may be. And then I would like to bring that to Ugfunk and just kind of set it like on the table next to him or near him and just kind of like, for you, food.
So there's no table where he is, but you sort of hand him the plate, once Sue has prepared it. And he kind of looks at you, and you can see that he's just finishing up dressing something on the basilisk. He points to the floor, and you see his hands are kind of covered with like sort of basilisk goo, and he's got this sharp knife in his hand, and he says, "Oh, doga, oh, doga." He points to the plate and just to the floor.
Okay. I will set them on the floor where he can see them a good enough distance away from the basilisk so he doesn't trip on them or knock them over or get any blood in them.
He seems to be being a little bit careful with it. He doesn't seem to be super hungry at the moment. And the thing that, did you tell Sue that you were asking for this for him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have said that.
So it's probably something that doesn't look tasteful to you at all. It's got like larvae and like other weird stuff in it, and probably like a dash of like fly wings and things.
Yeah, it's spaghetti except worms.
Yes, it's gross. But he and he's not giving it much heed. But when you offer it to him, he turns to you, and he's in one hand he's got this knife, and in the other he's got some sort of, it must be some sort of gland or something from the basilisk, and he takes that and kind of moves to Sue. But he gives you like holds up sort of like a bullywug finger, and he's like like sort of like hold on. And he steps over to the bar, and he says something in bullywug to Sue that she responds with, and she comes back with a bowl, and he washes this thing off and sort of carefully like cleans it. And then he turns and he hands it to you, sort of like as a gift.
So it's a bowl with like an organ in it.
There's a bowl with like a small organ in it. It looks sort of like a roundish thing. It's been tied off on both ends. It looks a little bit like a balloon that's sort of been like tied. It's maybe about the size of a tomato.
Right.
And it's sort of like greenish with some weird sort of like purplish like veins or something on it.
Oh, you know what I'll bet that is? That's one of those Feywild haggises.
I'll look at Ungfunk and I go, what is it?
And he starts speaking in bullywug to you, trying to get like some stuff in Sylvan as well. But Sue hops in and begins working as like an interpreter for you. And she says, he says that this is a magical gland of the basilisk. He says if you ever see anyone or it can revert the petrification abilities of certain creatures, can undo them.
Oh my heavens! That's really nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that it should last for quite a while. I think maybe if you dry it out, if you can, it should still function. Although you may have to put it into some sort of a liquid at that point.
Okay. Well, thank you. Ugfunk, would it be possible? 2, 3, 4 of its teeth.
He kind of shakes his head. He's like, "Oh, no, Babylona." He kind of points over to the thing.
Oh,
like as if the rest. And Sue says he says the rest of it is meant for Bavlona. That she likes her animals whole. She is a taxidermist. Did you know that? She likes to stuff creatures.
That
Sometimes
explains her decor.
Multiple creatures, putting.
She like a turducken?
Yes, or maybe like a basilisk turducken.
Wow, basiliducken.
Maybe a boar turducken.
I guess we all have our hobbies. Ew.
As long as she doesn't do anything untoward with them afterwards. Like,
I mean, whose business?
Creating monsters. I don't know.
I tried taxidermy once.
But did you sew multiple creatures together into one?
No, I just made a squirrel look real ferocious. It kind of looked like it was dancing.
I remember that. I was kind of glad when that hobby fell to the wayside.
Well, I must not have done it right because it started getting stinky after a few months.
Oh, that's where that went. Yeah, fair enough.
I am so sorry I missed that.
You did notice a
day is
faint
it
whiff
now?
of something in your room last time you were there. You came to visit.
But you should have
What is
seen
that
the way
smell?
that squirrel looked. It looked
Got
real
more frightening
fierce.
as time went on.
Like this.
It's like its eyes are starting to sag and its teeth are starting to fall out. Fur falling off of it.
Oh, man.
Sue, we're heading back toward the main drag to go see Bavlorna. Do you go that way? Would we be able to catch a ride?
I could take you some of the way, but I try to stay far from Downfall. I don't really trust her, but I can take you close.
All right, that's fine. I understand not wanting to go all the way to Downfall, but if we could get like spitting distance,
I
that'd
can
be
do
nice.
that for you, girl. No problem.
Thank you. Ugh. Well,
You know,
excellent.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna go lay
write-
down.
I'm going to write her one of the nicest Yelp reviews.
She's real nice.
You see that Ugfunk is also sort of cutting other things out of this basket. It seems like he's taking like the meat from it now and skinning it now that he's got it to this point. And the other things he's giving to Sue. And she's taking them and sort of dressing them and he's assuming that she's storing them someplace or drawing them out somewhere else in the inn. Because occasionally he'll hand her a piece and she takes it into the back.
So, Herringon folk, what are your names?
One of them says Tori, and the other says Gita. Tori and Gita.
So, what are your plans? I mean, it seemed like Agdon had, to excuse the term, bit of a tight leash on things. Guys, run away or what?
They seem hesitant to answer. Give me a persuasion check, just to see if they'll trust you.
Yeah, that'll be a 12.
12. It's not too bad. They also know that you're not probably going to side with Agdon about whatever they say. And the one that seems a little bit more willing to talk says, "Yeah, we're thinking about moving on. The tollway. Agdon just seems to be obsessed with himself, unfortunately. So we think maybe we'll find better pasture somewhere else. Maybe in thither if we can get there."
Well, we actually plan on going there eventually, and there's always more strength in numbers, and we've seen how you guys fight. So, maybe you'd like to join up with us.
Yeah, why don't you come with us?
Are you going to be bandits in thither?
Oh, no. I mean, well, no. We are on a a very important retrieval mission.
Retrieval mission? What do you mean?
I guess we are technically going to be bandits briefly because what we're supposed to do there is get a thing back.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
mind. And I'm just
Top
going to
secret
awkwardly
mission.
drink my beer.
They kind of look at each other and then look at you, and it seems as if they've had their fill of trouble, and it sounds like you might be heading towards it, the way that you're kind of like cutting each other off. And they say, I think we'll pass for now. We've had enough excitement in that life in a group. I think we might just take it easy for a little while.
All right.
Fair enough.
Valid.
We've had a lot of excitement, and it's just getting more and more exciting every day.
We're looking for a little bit less excitement, so maybe it's best that we leave this here.
Well, I noticed that Sue doesn't have anyone to help with the cooking and cleaning and bring
Well, she's
out
not.
dishes to people. Maybe
That's true.
she needs help. This is a nice place.
They look towards the bar, and the one that you suggest this to actually seems a little bit interested. Like it and kind of leads forward and says, "She said that she's needed help. She's kind of had something against bandits before, and I have to say that Agdon probably isn't her favorite person."
Well, then you got
Well,
that
if you're-
in common.
Well, by association, though, I mean, she only just barely let us in.
Well, be charming.
You're turning a new leaf and all, right?
Yeah, you rabbits, you like leaves.
Not a whole lot of leaves here in Hither, though.
We're working on that.
Are there more in thither?
Oh, yes. Great forests. It's not a swamp like this at all. But it's hard to get to. Agdon's always told us that it's impossible to get to without the right person that knows the way. He always said that he didn't know how to get there. We're getting a little desperate, so... And when you say this, like, you see Clapperclaw sitting at the bar. He's kind of not really paying attention. He seems to be, like, trying to find, like, shiny things to look at his new head in. But you realize that he is, like, he's a guide. He apparently knows how to get there.
Well, he knows the way.
Who does?
That guy. He's our
Clapperclaw.
guide.
The Scarecrow?
Yeah, he's going to take us there.
He knows how to get there.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. He says he does, anyway.
And
they seem to kind of consider that for a moment.
when we were looking for a guide, he was recommended. So it's not just him who tells us he can do it.
They kind of look to each other and then kind of back towards Clapperclaw. And one of them gets up and heads over to kind of sit at the bar next to Clapperclaw. And Clapperclaw, you see him kind of look up. He's like, "Hello! You're not going to try to steal my head again, are you?" And the Heron God's like, no, not at all. We've turned a new leaf. He kind of looks your direction when he says that. And then he starts... tries to start up a conversation with Clapperclaw about thither and what's the way to get there and whatnot. The other one is kind of watching this from a distance, but also sort of looking towards Sue, and you suspect that maybe he might even be considering approaching Sue to see if she needs help. But you also...
Sue.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Sue,
Yes, dear?
just out of the blue, do you believe in second chances?
Always. Although thirds are hard to come by.
Thank you.
Thirds are a little bit like halfling meals. Not everybody gets them, but halflings always do.
I don't know if I know any halflings, but I bet that's a funny joke. Thank you. And I'll look to the Heron Gone and say, you might have a chance.
He seems a little hesitant to approach Sue. Give me a persuasion check real quick for Sylphira.
Joke.
And an insight check as well for anybody that's part of this. Anybody can roll an insight check.
Sure.
Okay, so that's a 15 for the insight check
Nice.
and an 18 for the persuasion check.
All right. What were the other rules for everybody else?
16.
16. Was Thorn part of that, or?
Well, I rolled insight, but apparently Thorn's still keeping his eyes closed.
Okay. You rolling like fumbles at the beginning of the game here? Is that
Not
what's going
fumbles, just really low numbers.
on? Okay.
Yeah, ditto.
Just look in the wrong direction, or maybe you're trying to follow this conversation the other one's having with Clapperclaw or something.
Yeah.
This Heron Gun gets up and kind of moves over towards the bar and begins talking to Sue. The insight check tells you, though, that he is nervous about this. And Sue is sort of hesitant as well to sort of like maybe give the second chance. Might take a little bit of help.
If when he goes to leave, if I'm able to, I'd like to tap his shoulder and say, Seluna bless you. And I will give him a guidance.
Okay. All right, he heads over to talk to Sue, and the other one's talking to Clapperclaw. Even with a little bit of your guidance, he just seems to like say the wrong thing to Sue. Like, you're not sure if he's just nervous or maybe he doesn't really want this, but like when he asks her if she needs any sort of help around the place, she just says, no, I can handle this whole place on my own. And maybe she doesn't quite understand that he's asking her if she needs help. And then he just sort of abandons like the topic, like almost immediately, and just turns to like other sort of topics, asking her, like random stuff about the weather. Just seems as if like he just sort of gave up real quick. And you suspect that he just doesn't have like the doesn't have the self-confidence to like really sort of try to sell himself. But meanwhile, the other one is talking about going to thither. It's possible the two of them will just head out together unless something else changes.
I'd like to walk over to the bar. Where is he still talking to Sue there?
Yeah, well, at this point, he's sort of just sitting at the bar, and Sue's kind of gone back to like cleaning up stuff and just preparing. You see her kind of going back and forth between the kitchen.
I'll say
the conversation is kind of over.
But he's still there.
He's still there, just sort of like staring down at his drink and kind of glancing over towards Clapperclaw, which he seems hesitant about for other reasons. Clapperclaw is just kind of creepy. And he doesn't seem like he just seems weirded out by this scarecrow. Like maybe he's not convinced the scarecrow is going to lead them someplace nice.
So I call out, Sue, do you have any cheese?
I do have some.
Can I?
How much do you need?
I turn to the Harangon. Do you like cheese? Rabbits like cheese, right?
And the Harangon's eyes are a little bit wide. Yes, I love cheese. Don't have anything to pay for it, though.
How big?
Barely have had anything for these drinks.
Oh, well, I've got some money left from my smithing days.
Money? Like coins?
Yeah, are those good here?
I think so. Don't see them very often, though. Most people barter with things that they find in the swamps or elsewhere.
Sue, how much cheese can I get? Can I trade gold for cheese?
You can.
How much?
Sam, I think
cheese?
that they're starting. How much cheese do you need? Are you taking it for the road or just a little bit for here?
Well, just some for him. How much cheese do you want?
Just like a wedge? Maybe?
A wedge. One wedge, please, Sue.
And you hear Sue say, coming right up. And she's kind of in the back. You hear like stuff kind of moving around. And she comes out and she's got this plate with like a chunk of cheese that's been cut out of a wheel. And she slides it over to you.
Beer? Do you like beer? I say to the Harangon.
Another round, please.
Everybody likes beer.
Another round, Sue. I'll get this one. All
right. How much money are you putting down? She doesn't seem to like kind of have like a specific like cost in gold. Seems like a lot of things, especially for you guys, are like free. For instance, she hasn't even asked you for payment.
I will offer 2 gold.
She looks at that, seeming like Sam is over there going, "No, too much, too much." She slides one back to you, and she says, "Just because the rules dictate, I need to have some sort of exchange. I'll accept this for now."
Well, thank you. Well, this is a special occasion, Sue. We're toasting our friends because they're giving up the bandit lifestyle.
Who are you now?
Turning a new leaf.
And the Harangon next to you is like nodding, kind of like, very enthusiastically, maybe a little bit too enthusiastic. Let's see.
Cheers.
Like, yeah, like way too enthusiastically. Almost like it does. You're not quite certain that they have given up the bandit lifestyle. When they mentioned it earlier, maybe you thought that they thought that you weren't, that you were going to be bandits and they didn't want to be that. This one doesn't quite sell it. Not really actually at all. Just doesn't seem like this one is quite ready to give up that life. The other one seems like happy to. Like, I want to go to Thither and be done with this. This one next to you is still conflicted.
Do I notice that automatically, or should I make a
roll an insight check? Which I don't imagine you're not going to notice this because I will roll that.
Marginally better than before. 13.
That's a lot better than this terrible roll this Harengon had, which was like a 5. So yeah, you start to realize that maybe this Harengon is, if they're not quite on the straight and narrow, maybe it's not best that they stay with Sue, who tries to. She's sort of like the one person you've met in Hither who isn't sort of like trying to take advantage of other people.
Yeah, for real. Well, when he looks a little unconvincing, I'll just be like, "You are." I'm
And it just goes down and starts eating its cheese quietly.
This is celebratory cheese for giving up the bandit lifestyle. Drink your beer.
Sue watches this, and you can see in her eyes that she is still like, she knows what's going on here, but she doesn't say anything. She doesn't call him out.
I may not push it any harder than that.
All right. So having dealt with these two Harengon, who knows what's going to happen to them? Maybe they'll both go off to Thither or back to the bandit life here somewhere on their own. But there's a chance that you've sort of turned them around and given them like something else to do, and you leave them sort of on good terms. Sue, when you tell her that you're heading back to Downfall, I'm assuming that's where you're going, right? She sets the inn back in motion, and it rises back up out of the swamp and begins marching off back the way that you came, kind of taking a different route to go around the tollway. And for a few hours, it marches this way, and she seems to know like some quick ways to get back there. It moves faster than Let This Be does, and by late afternoon, you recognize some of the landmarks out the window of, like, for instance, the causeway where you first arrived at the broken causeway bridge that kind of spans some part of Hither. You see that kind of go over your heads as the inn moves through, moves sort of like between the ruins of it. And you know that you're now getting close to Downfall. And eventually the inn comes to a stop at Sue's command, and she throws down the gangplank again and tells you, well, this is about as far as I'll go. Downfall's not that far from here. You should be able to see it if you head that way, just straight on.
Do you need any payment or anything for your services?
Nope, not from you folk. You've been good to me, and good to others here, too.
Well, very kind of you. Thank you.
You're a good sort yourself, Sue.
Thank you. I try to be. Good luck to you, whatever you're doing over there.
Hope to see you again.
So
I'm sure that our paths will cross.
When you said earlier that we part with the Harengon on good terms, were you implying that they leave the inn at that point, or are they still?
They do. They don't go back to Downfall. They basically leave before it picks up and moves on. So it's pretty much just you and Ugfunk in the inn that make this trek.
Got it.
And as you're stepping down the gangplank back to the marshes with Ugfunk, bringing this now kind of wrapped up hide in tow, he gives a wave to Sue, and she waves back at you and then pulls the gangplank back up, and the inn begins to march off back into the swamps. I think this is a good spot to take a little break, a 5-minute break, and then after that, we can get you back into Downfall.
Awesome.
Do we have a sponsor?
We do. We do have a word from our sponsor. War, famine, plagues, political uprisings, religious conflicts, the interplanar socioeconomic downfall of all of creation, mental health problems.
Taxes. Let's face it, simply existing these days is hard. Really hard. That's why we at Nerultech Enterprises are constantly pushing the envelope to create new and exciting solutions to all of these concerns. We're writing the equation to solve the problem of life itself. From alchemical compounds that break down unusable organic matter to rehomogenize into living tissue, to arcane transfusions that can drag the soul of a dying creature back through the gates of oblivion. From most advanced necromantic technologies to everyday phylacteries for the normal lich on the go, to legions of undead warriors patiently awaiting the day they can rise from the blood-drenched earth to march upon the empires of the living. Whatever you need to serve the Reaper of all, Nerultech has you covered. When it comes to the end of everything, don't settle for a... Sorry. When it comes to the end of everything, don't settle. Trust a real god of death. Trust Nerultech. Nerultech Enterprises, raising your spirits again and again and again.
Yay!
Thank you, folks.
Nerultech has been such a great sponsor. The gifts they send us though are a little spooky. I don't open the package often.
Yeah, there's usually like stains on the cardboard box, and there's kind of an odd smell.
Yeah, mine keeps hissing. And like black smoke keeps coming out of it. I don't know. I'm just saying. We love you and appreciate you, Nerultech, but wow.
Yeah. Did they trademark Thorn's squirrel?
No, but they probably did steal the corpse and like use it for experiments. Somebody probably found it and went, "Oh, this guy's got some talent." Yeah.
That would be my sponsor ad. Thorn just trying to sell his taxidermy skills. terrible taxidermy.
I think you need to write one now.
Oh no.
Like Nerultech did send us some really cool patches, but I think they're made of skin.
Ooh.
No,
like
no.
they still twitch kind of.
Oh no.
You were warm to the touch.
Yeah. Is it a soul patch?
Oh!
Get out. Okay, and with that, we'll be right back. Thanks,
All right, break time, everyone.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are done with our break and ready to go. But before we jump in, I want to share an exciting announcement, which is we have settled on a date for the next episode of our Street Fighter special event. We are doing a Street Fighter RPG trilogy. That's right, there are going to be 3 parts to this Street Fighter episode series. If you've never heard of the Street Fighter RPG, it is as awesome and wacky as it sounds. It's actually the most fun I've ever had with one-on-one combat in any tabletop role-playing game. So
it's pretty fun.
That one I'm running, giving Rob a break, a chance to relax and play for a little while. And we are going to do the second episode in 2 weeks. Saturday, 2 weeks from now. So we're going to try to shoot for the third Saturday of every month as being the date and time for the date at least, for these special events. So we can all just predict it. You know when it is. Consistent, don't need to wonder. Maybe next time I'll bring a little recap to get people psyched for the Street Fighter, the next episode. It's going to be awesome.
Do we need some sort of I don't know, were we thinking about making what do you have in mind for that? I'm curious, because now I haven't heard anything about what you're talking about.
About the recap?
Yeah, are we going to do just like a recap in this game, or?
Well, I thought I might take 1 or 2 minutes and just some sort of summarize what happened last time and get people excited for the Street Fighter thing. Trailer, exactly.
The trailer. It's a street fighting trailer. Those of you that didn't see it, it was a lot of fun and crazy, and it's a system that I think it does combat kind of like nothing else. I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. And hopefully I'll be able to get the YouTube videos of the previous episode, or the YouTube video of the previous episode up. Metallic Simpson, to your question, usually we do the special events earlier. I'm not sure that we've settled on a time. Last time we did 4:30 p.m. We've got to talk about it, but we might do that again. But we'll let you know. All right, that's all I've got. Rob?
All right, let's get back to it. Right before the break, the group was headed back to Downfall, and that's where we're going to pick up as they arrive back into this Bullywug city or village or whatever you want to call it, this settlement. The inn at the end of the road when it brought you back at an angle and approach to Downfall that's different than the one you left from. You kind of come in to this village, seeing some spots that you haven't seen before. You see some huts where some of them must live, and you see this kind of strange tree that's kind of circling the lake nearby, and it's, like I said, it's an area that you haven't been to before. You see more walkways. Maybe this is where most of them live, but it's a different approach, and you're just seeing different things. And as you arrive into the town limits itself, let's get a perception check from everyone.
18 for Sulfira.
18?
12.
13.
12, 15, and Thorn?
12.
12. Oh, okay. All right, Sulfira, you rolled an 18, right? Sam, what did you get? Did I hear? I'm not sure if I heard Sam.
You got a 1.
Oh, what?
Oh, jeez.
Our first
Sam-
nat one of the night.
Sam Sam doesn't know what's going on. Maybe you're talking with Ugfunk yet. You're having a conversation or something when you come into town. We make sure that his little token is here as well. But Sulfira and Tana, you hear sort of a haunting melody that seems to be being played on some sort of a flute. Seems to be coming off somewhere off to your right behind this building.
Which building?
D15?
Right next to you to your right, D15.
Okay.
Seems to be on the other side of it somewhere.
All right. I'm gonna go look around. Just kind of give it a peek.
I'm going to follow Tana.
All right. That came in huge.
What are we doing? What?
We've heard some strange music. Tana and I will check it out really quick, and we'll be back. Or we'll holler if we need you.
All right. All right. The rest of the group makes its way kind of like to these wooden walkways, getting their bearings in Downfall from this new perspective. Sophia and Tana, you both head around this structure, and you see on the far side that there is kind of like this small forest of giant mushrooms. And this music, sort of haunting, seems to be kind of coming from somewhere amongst them.
Hello?
There's no answer right away. Could be that they can't hear you because of the music they're playing.
I'll just move into the mushrooms then.
I will follow Tana. Hand on my
All
morning
right.
star.
You step in amongst these mushrooms, and you find an elf in there. He's got sort of bluish skin, dark hair, and he's kind of leaning against this mushroom, kind of in the middle of this patch. Seems like he's sort of chosen a place to be sort of secluded, and you see that he's got these pipes in his hands, and he's playing this music that you can hear, and it sounds, as you've gotten closer, it's very sad and sort of melancholy, but he seems practiced, and it's well played. Let's see, he does not seem to have noticed you as you approach.
In Elvish, I will call out, hello, you're playing beautiful music.
The music stops, and he turns your direction, kind of looking around the mushroom. And he says, hello. Good day.
Hi. I'm Sulfira, Eventide, and this is Tana. We just overheard your music, and we were Just curious. Who are you?
My name is Octavian. I didn't disturb you, did I?
Oh no.
No. It sounded like a very sad song you were playing, though.
Did it? Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
sometimes
no.
can't tell.
It's nothing to apologize for.
I thought it was something happy. And he seems kind of like confused as he looks at the flute and just takes it and kind of tucks it into a pocket and stands up.
But you don't have to stop playing.
Well, it wasn't what I was intending to play, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, art is in the eye of the beholder, right? And Sylphira has a very sad backstory.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
well,
Hannah.
we all do, honey.
He
And you're
says,
not wrong.
if that's true, then you've come to the right place. Downfall seems to be a village of...
I think you froze there, Dungeon Master.
Got frozen up there for a second. Seems like coming back.
Yes.
All right.
Something about the people of Downfall being very sad.
Not the people, just Downfall. He says that Downfall is it's a place of sad memories, and everyone here has a sad story to tell, it seems.
Perhaps that's why people are trying to take the good memories.
People? Whom? Oh, you mean Bavlorna?
I didn't say that, but yes.
We just heavily implied it.
She can take the bad memories too. She doesn't just look for the good.
Well, whatever she takes, we want it back.
She took something from you then?
Oh, yep. And I don't give any more information. I don't know this guy.
He says, she took something from me as well. But it was something I thought that I didn't want anymore. But
Oh.
I
Insight
think I've
check
changed
that.
my mind. Go ahead and roll.
I can do that too.
Was almost a natural 20, but it's an 8 plus 5, 13.
Nice.
13.
Mine is a 19.
19. Saphira, you're not quite certain what to make of this guy. You get this weird feeling that he like he's not processing like things the same way you are. Like he's not necessarily sad, he's not necessarily happy, he's just very neutral and bland, and like nothing seems to like get a reaction from it. Tana, you get a stronger impression of this as well, with that insight check. You don't think he's trying to trick you. You don't think that he is, and you also don't think that he sees Bavlorna in any sort of good light. It seems as if he is latching on to this sort of thing that you've hinted, that you're here to recollect something, and it seems as if he wants to. Like he's hesitant to give you his story, since you've said basically, you know, that's it. You kind of cut yourself off, and at one point he was about to say something, and he seems to kind of withdraw, like he's not certain he should say anything.
All right, I look at him and
your insight check basically tells you that he's doing sort of the same thing that you're doing.
Right.
Like he doesn't really know you, and he doesn't know if it's appropriate for him to say anything more.
I'll talk in just a second. Okay, sorry, there was some background noise.
There's more familiar showing up.
Why does this keep happening?
You get a familiar. You get a familiar.
Maybe we'll just we should add in to your rage wild magic just like random summons. Like things just show up.
I look at him and I say, she took my dreams. I mean, I guess it's not so bad to not remember your dreams, but she kind of took away maybe more of that, because I don't really think about the future a whole lot. And people say that you got to dream about your future, right? Like
You
what
do.
you want to do with your life. I haven't thought much past here.
That sounds awful. Is this something that you bargained away to her?
I mean, I didn't think it was a bargain. I just went to a fair as a kid, and the next thing I knew, boom. Apparently, we made some mistake, but we were tricked into it. It's a whole thing. I didn't make a bargain, though. Did you make a bargain?
He kind of looks down and he nods. I did. I made a mistake too, but it was my own. I had something I thought I didn't want. Elves live a long time, and I lived many of those years amongst humans and other beings with shorter lives. And I met many of them and became friends with them. Some of them I fell in love with, and a few I even married. But they passed on. They grew old, and they were gone. And I came here hoping to get rid of that pain. And I offered it to Bavlorna, and she seemed eager to take my broken heart. But now I can't feel anything. I can't feel joy. I don't feel sadness. I can't even tell when I'm playing on my flute anymore. You said that it sounded sad, and well, now you can see what I mean.
That's terrible.
I've been sitting here for weeks trying to figure out what to do. I went to her and I asked for my heart back, and she refused. Seemed to think that it was funny. And I had nothing more to barter with her, nothing that she seemed interested in trading for. She said she had a use for my heart. That's all I know. And that she didn't want to give it up.
That's terrible. I'm sorry. I know what it's like to live a different lifespan than everybody else. My childhood friend ended up being my mom later. That was a weird turn of events.
I think you kind of know maybe what my life was like. You're still young yourself. Treasure those moments, if you can. I know that they were important to me, even though I can't feel them anymore.
Well, we made a deal with Bavlorna to get her stuff back, but every time that we ask for something, she asks for something kind of ridiculous, and we've been doing this for days now. I could try to get yours back, but I don't know. She's starting to rub me the wrong way. Wish I could just kick her butt.
You've rubbed me the wrong way since we met her.
I wouldn't want anyone else to deal on my behalf. She would probably take advantage of you. Like she did with me.
I look down at Tana and say, she probably already is.
I mean, yeah, probably. But, we can't take her on, can we? She runs an entire realm in this place, and I barely understand it.
I feel like we have to do something, but I don't think we're strong enough to fight someone like that. Not now, anyway.
Fighting her?
Oh, what? Never mind what I say.
Well, I think you've already said it. A+ in secrets.
I'm lawful good, you guys. I can't lie.
You don't necessarily need
Brandon to play lawful good.
Oh man.
He says, I wouldn't suggest challenging her, like you said. He says to Tana, she is a ruler of this realm. She has great powers. What she did when I made my deal with her, it took great magic to do. You should be very careful with her. But if you do need, at some point, if you decide that you have to challenge her, perhaps I could help somehow. I have nothing left here, and I have no other allies, and I have, unfortunately, not all that much that I can do. But I do have my pipes, and they are a bit magical. And if I can help you, and if you can get my heart back for me, I'll give you my most prized possession. And he kind of taps where he put the pipes in his pocket.
Well, we don't need that. I mean, but any assistance you could give us would be good. What's your name, friend?
Octavian.
Octavian.
I believe we were going to find somewhere to rest. You're welcome to join us if you'd like.
I'm not good company. I think I'll just stay here. I tend to bring other people down when I'm around.
I know the feeling. I don't think you'd be bad company, personally.
I'd be
Tana, you might
company
think
for myself.
otherwise, but I don't know.
I don't think you're going to be bad company. I mean, most of the time we'd probably talk over you anyway.
You have other friends with you?
Yeah, lots of them.
Well, I would like
Well,
to
3
meet
more.
others.
And a snail.
He seems curious now that it's not just the two of you.
Here, come along. See, look.
Meanwhile, back out at this on like the little walkway here, Sam and Thorn, you've been kind of hanging out right next to this structure, and you look above the door and you see that there's like a little sign above it, and Sam, you recognize like the symbol on this. You don't know where you've seen it before, but it's a symbol that's been used by the Fae before for trading. And you suspect that this building might be some sort of like a trading post of some kind. The door is open, and you can see kind of like some little like shelves like around the exterior of this hut. And you see that there is a bullywug in there, kind of dressed in like more like a merchant's outfit with like pockets and like rings and necklaces and stuff like that. And it's female, and she's kind of walking around, kind of checking things.
Go have a look.
All right.
Well,
As you step inside, she looks up and says, kind of takes a moment to kind of clear her throat, and then says in common, "Welcome, welcome. Are you here to trade?"
Oh, yes, thank you very much. I mean, we would like to have a look around, if that's all right.
Ooh, of course. Always willing to trade.
do you have snacks?
Many snacks. We have most of the food here for the other bullywugs of Downfall. What sort of things do you like? And she starts showing you like, some bullywug cuisine, and it's pretty gross. Funk is like, ooh. He starts looking through some of these different like shells, and you got like some dried bugs over here, and some things that have some sort of like crystallized some candy or something like that. And he starts kind of looking through things and talking to her as you were checking the other shelves. You do see some stuff that's not bullywug sort of cuisine. You see like even some things that look like real candies until you look closer, and then you realize that it's like a lollipop that seems to be like some sort of hard candy that's been dipped into ants. And then you find another one that's a hard candy with like a bug right in the center, some sort of like cockroach or something. Like it looks fine until you look closer.
Suddenly,
Crystallized wasp's eggs, eh?
Yeah, some strange looking things like that. But they're not like they're not the things that like that Ugfunk is interested in. Like the cuisine that he's interested in doesn't seem to be like candied stuff. It doesn't seem like the bullywugs were really all that much into it. They want things that are more like savory or just gooey.
on second thought, I'm not so hungry.
Sam, there's other things in here too besides food. Like you see some odd sort of trinkets kind of on some shelves. Let me see. There is one thing that sort of stands out is you see on this shelf there is a frog that looks like it is like wrapped in a bunch of cloth, and all you can see are like its little face, which is sort of like shriveled and sort of desiccated, like it's been dried out. Basically, it looks like a mummified toad, and it's just on this shelf, like it's its eyes all dried out, just kind of staring ahead.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Somehow you just end up kind of near this thing looking at it. It's sort of separate from everything else in the room. It's got its own little sort of place of prominence.
I come up and poke it. That looks better than most of the snacks.
I don't think that's for eating.
And the bullywog looks over and says, That's not a snack. No, that's a dock frog, a dock toad.
What's it do?
It creates darkness. If you take it and you lick its head, darkness will surround you.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's magic. I haven't been able to convince anybody else to buy it.
I mean,
could use it with this monocle.
You probably could.
Huh.
And
she's like looking at the monocle like she doesn't quite know what it is. What was that for Sam?
how much does a darkness frog go for these days?
What do you have to trade?
What do I have to trade? Not much, unfortunately.
She's kind of looking at Thorn, who's got like this giant package of like, I think you still have your giant package of dried wood, don't you?
I do.
She seems to be kind of eyeing that.
That's my dried firewood. I was going to
Do
use
indeed.
it.
Nice and dry. Love it. So hard to find dry wood in hither.
I know. They all laughed at me.
I'm still laughing.
Why would they do that? He's carrying treasure. Dried brown treasure.
See, Sam?
You want some dried brown treasure? Just give me like 24 hours.
Would you trade the toad for the wood?
How much wood do you actually have? Do you remember? Was it just like one bundle or two?
I just wrote down dry firewood.
I think you have one bundle, which is like it's a good sized amount. She seems curious about it. Give me a persuasion check.
Well, that's a 10, which makes sense because I'm not trying very hard. Thorn's not.
Yeah, you're not trying very hard. You don't think it's worth that much. You're not even sure about this toad. She seems a little unsure as well. She wants the firewood. She's not sure that it's worth the toad.
I'm a little protective of the firewood. I don't
like
know.
its value is intrinsically higher to you than it is to anybody else.
Yes, exactly. What about gold? Would you take gold for that?
Gold? Unusual. Maybe gold. How much do you have?
Well, I don't want to spend all of it. How much gold would you want?
I don't know.
How about 5 gold pieces?
I was thinking 20.
Oh, I can't afford that much.
Is that a lot? I mean, yes, 20.
Yes, 20's a lot. I could do 10.
I want a lot of gold.
I could do 10, but that's almost all I have.
10 in the wood?
But that's my wood.
But it could be my wood. And this could be your frog.
Yes, that is how trading works. Thank you.
Just a second.
She points at Sam like he gets it.
What do you think, Sam? Is this toad really worth anything to us?
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if it's worth 10 gold and all of your precious wood. That's
I
I
think
mean,
it's
to us,
one or the other, man. Is there anything else here interesting?
Most of the stuff seems like sort of like the regular stuff you would find at a trading post. They've got cookware, spices. You see like a big rack of like old fish bones that are sort of tied together. You have no idea what that's for. Maybe they use them as like snacks or toothpicks or something. And then you see like a few bags of like berries too. The berries actually look kind of nice.
I'll ask about the berries. What are these?
She tells you that they are black and blue berries. They are kind of a punch to them.
Oh. Do you throw
are they
them at
magical
people?
too?
What was that?
Are they magical too?
I don't know. I don't know if they're magical or just delicious or both.
What happens if you eat one?
They burst in your mouth.
Oh.
You could also throw them at people too, and they burst and get gooey all over the place.
Huh.
Very fun at parties.
I'll bet.
Well,
You know, I'm good. I mean, Thorn, that's all you.
do you do free samples? Can I try just one?
No, nothing's free.
Oh, well,
Can I try one of your pieces of wood?
no.
All right, Miss. Well, thank you so much for your time. A lovely place you have here. Maybe we'll be back for the frog later when we have something more to trade. We'll not take up any more of your day.
All right. Well, have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
As you're stepping back outside, you bump into Tana and Sophira with this elf, this strange sort of blue-skinned elf.
Oh, hello. Who's this?
This is Octavian, and he plays the pipes, and he has a similar issue to us. He lost a thing to Bavlorna. Hope you don't mind me saying that. I figure we just get it out of the way. We all lost something here, except for maybe Clapperclaw. That's the one with the skull. And then Lettuce B. Not Lettuce A. Lettuce B. That's the snail over there.
Clapperclaw is sitting on the snail and just kind of waves a claw. And doesn't seem to bother. If he's surprised or creeped out by this skull-headed scarecrow, he doesn't show it. He kind of just gives a little wave back. Maybe like he's confused by this thing that you're friends with, but not scared at all. And he says, well, that to all of you. Your friends here tell me that you're trying to deal with Bavlorna.
Yeah.
Maybe getting the short end of the stick like so many others.
Well, I mean, we're 3 out of 4 on our task. Actually, we have to go talk to her with our friend, the Bullywog here. And then we have one more thing to go do. And then hopefully we'll be square with her.
She has you doing things for her.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they seemed simple enough.
Mostly.
Well, you've gotten further than I have. Then perhaps she'll deal better with you. Hopefully, whatever it is that she has of yours is not more valuable to her than her word. Although I don't think that it is. As I understand it, she's very true to her word, to a fault.
Have you lost something as well? She's got something else.
No, I gave it away, and then realized after that it was something I missed and didn't realize that I would.
Well, did you offer to clean her pipes or anything like that?
I offered to do anything that she wanted, but she didn't seem interested, and she didn't think that I could help her, and she didn't like my music, and said that I was ugly.
Well, that's just rude.
Yeah. Because you're a very attractive man. I'm just going to say right there.
Oh, well, I mean, most elves are. It's just kind of in our nature.
And modest as well. I like him.
That too. That too. He seems like oblivious to like, he doesn't seem to be modest at all. He also doesn't seem to like, he's not like, give me an insight check for Sam and Thorn now that you're kind of you're interacting with this guy.
17.
I'm continuing my tradition of miserable insight rolls.
All right. So, Sam, you kind of recognize that there's something off about this guy. His reactions are just not normal. He doesn't have the same sort of social sort of like humility that other people would have.
It's like Drax.
Yes, but there's no anger either.
Okay.
In fact, he looks sad, but it's not really sad. It's sort of absence of emotion at all.
All right. Well,
He says, you're going to see Bavlorna then. Tell her what you've done. Try to finish your deals.
well, yeah, we have to go turn in this one thing and then go do one other thing and then come back and then we should be done.
Your friends here asked if I would accompany you. Do you want more company?
The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
He said his pipes are magic. We could use more magic.
Sure.
Oh, what kind of magic?
Oh, the interesting kind. They can scare people if played at a certain frequency. If you play the right tune, it can be very haunting.
I have pipes too, but they're not magic, except for the magic I give them.
Are you good at playing them?
I'm okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Maybe you guys could do a duet.
Oh, I'd like to. I just don't know if I'm any good. I haven't been the same since I gave up my heart to Bavlorna. All of my songs are just off.
We've been helping people out. Maybe we can help you out.
Well, if you can, I would be very grateful. And if there's anything that I could do for you, if you've already made this sort of not a promise, but you said you would, I will help you as well.
Well, I just think it's wrong to be taking stuff from people, and especially knowing that it's something that they're going to regret. And then she called you ugly, and she's a baddie. I don't like her very much.
I suppose I agree with you. She is cruel.
Thorn looks a little uncomfortable and starts looking around to see if there's anybody listening to this conversation.
Ugfunk seems to be trying to listen. Like he keeps hearing like Bavlorna's name, and he's like, kind of like tilting his ears to listen, but he doesn't really know the common tongue that well, so you don't think that he's fully following. But when you do look at him, he kind of like catches your eye, Thorn, and he kind of like nods towards like the center of the lake, towards Bavlorna's hut, and he gestures back at the sled that he's got with the basilisk hide. Like, are we taking this?
Yeah, we're almost ready. Wait, Sulfira, didn't
Yes?
you say you can make us all see in the dark real well? Like all of us?
I can, yeah.
Just a second. I go back into the shop.
All right. Hello,
Regular
welcome
darkness.
back. It's been ages, she says.
Yeah, great. Can I just try that frog? Never mind. Here, I'll give you this for it. And I offer her the moonlight monocle.
Do you offer her the moonlight monocle for the frog?
Yeah.
You can. You already gave up like something else important for the monocle, but you can. She kind of looks at it. Let's see if she thinks it's worth it. She looks at it closely and kind of holds it up to her eye and kind of like does this thing a couple times, testing it out. And she says, this is a deal. A deal. You can have it.
All right. I take the I'll take the darkness frog.
All right. You now have a mummified frog that, from what you have been told, can cast a darkness spell if you lick it.
Is your ability going to be able to see through that?
No. I said that as you walked into the shop. I said, only regular darkness. It's just dark vision. All it is dark vision for 300
Well, that's
feet.
what the Moonlight Monocle does too, but he said it would probably work. So I thought it would work.
I mean, did he say or did the shopkeeper say?
No, Rob said it. Well, he said it might. I don't know. He didn't say it for sure.
I feel like
Well,
this
there
is
is
that
one way to
guy
try.
that started out with a paperclip and just kept on trading until he got a house.
All right. Well, you know what? We're going to work on that model if it doesn't work. I'm taking the frog.
All right, you're taking the frog. You do have another way to see in the dark. So the monocle, maybe, we'll see. I think it's fascinating. You now have a darkness frog. And Sylvira's just outside like...
Look, Sylvira,
Thorn comes running outside and he's got a mummified frog in his hands.
I got something.
Ooh. What is
Pretty
What does it
nasty,
do?
isn't it? I
Is
poke
this
it.
another taxidermy project, darling?
No, look.
No, he's going to start licking toads.
I bring the toad up
Oh.
and I get my tongue ready. I'm like, okay.
No, you got it. You got to lick it.
Here goes nothing. Oh. And I put my tongue to it.
You stick your tongue on the frog and it just tastes dry and dusty. And then a moment later, the rest of you see its eyes sort of glaze and open for a moment. And when they do, everything just goes dark around you.
Ha ha!
You hear Thorn cry out in the darkness. And I think this is a perfect place to hold off for tonight. We'll come here next week.
Oh boy.
Back to darkness in the wild beyond the Witchlight. Success.
Brilliant.
Success.